Oh boy, what a morning! It's like a Monday, except it's a Friday. Thank God it's Friday. If this was the way the rest of the week was going to go, I'd be like done. I'd be like, F out of here. No. Good morning. Good morning and welcome back to the Friday, not Monday, Friday edition of Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host, and Disembodied Hands, the effervescent and awesome Quindy, and kind of flat Justin and John, really. I mean, we assume they're flat because they never are here, but, you know, I guess I have to give them some cred. They're present. They're just not as bubbly. But anyway, yes, well, I never actually went off of the starting soon screen when it froze before. So I never had gone live. So I knew I always watch chat before I start. And so I knew that crap was happening. So I just never even pushed the live button. Or never even pushed the start button. So yeah, I wasn't talking or anything. We were just sitting on Mousling screen. But hey, at least we figured it out. Hey, Kiki, are you going to come over here? Probably not. She's been weird today. She's like, I don't want to eat my breakfast. It's that kind of dog lately. She's having that phase. Hoping that I'll give her something better, maybe. That's the dog game, right? I'll only eat if. But she's going to find out that doesn't work with experienced dog owner Anne. So yeah. I put some treat dust on her food because I had some, but thanks, Gibson. Yep. Birthday. Hey, and all my presents, some of my presents are yet to arrive. This 40K arrives tomorrow, or it should. It should. Sometimes I hope that they arrive a day early, because they ship them when you order it for shipping to your address. They ship it in order to get it to you by Saturday, ideally. But we all know shipping is a little unpredictable, so I'm hoping that it airs earlier rather than later. But yeah, I get my Tyranids. Bugs. I'm very excited about my bugs. Very excited. And today is Work on Novel Day. And I'm actually excited about that too because it's so close. I have discovered something about myself as a writer and creative in general, but especially with the writing. If I don't get really good sleep, like I am so much less motivated to work on the book. I have much less energy for the book. I'm much less positive about the book. And in general, it just feels like a great slog instead of a fun, interesting joy. And it's all sleep. It's just sleep. So it's really interesting. I track my sleep quality with Fitbit, so I actually do know when I've gotten good sleep. Yes. Well, I took that day off anyway, Turgeon, so you couldn't have wished me a happy birthday on the actual day because I was a loafer. I was a complete loaf that day. Complete loaf. But yes, now the book, I figured out there was one thing that I wasn't happy with that I had to figure out, a part of a chapter that I had to completely rewrite. So I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I'm thinking about, a different book which has a similar kind of scene in it. And I'm like, no, that's not right somehow. And then finally this morning I'm like, duh! And I got it. So it's like, that's what happens sometimes. You have to let your brain my brain needs to cycle. And this is the same with miniature painting as well. Like when I am looking at a model and I don't immediately know what I'm going to paint it, I have to stop and think about it. And my little brain on this little hamster wheel just keeps going round and round and round and round until finally it goes, Eureka! Imagine a little hamster like going, Eureka! That would be a great t-shirt. We should have somebody do that one. I won't be streaming on Saturday, Gibson, because it's actually a board game day. One of David's oldest college friends from his original college math team, like in his initial college, not his post-grad. But yeah, one of his old friends, actually two of them, live here in the Bay Area. They both work for Google like he does. And one of them runs a monthly board game day. So we're going to go to the board game day. And that's at 2, so we have to skip the stream this week. But yeah, the following stream may well be bugs. Although it may not be, because I still need to finish this. I want to finish I need to get in focus. Hold on. I'm so blurry, Ermigerd. So blurry. There we go. But I need to finish this for Andy for ReaperCon, and I really want to get all my ReaperCon stuff out of the way so I don't have to stress about it. So we probably will finish the floor on that before I let myself get completely sucked into bugs. But then we'll do some bugs. We might even stream on the Warhammer channel instead of on the art channel while I do the bug. So, but yeah. But I'm just excited about it. I was working on my sister's battle last night too. Like I finally hit a breakthrough there or two on colors, so yeah, I don't know, it's just good. Bugs, and more bugs, yeah. And maybe I need to think about Golden Demon. Need to think about it. And I want to do a bug for sure. So I have to just think about the bug that I want to do. But yeah. So there'll be some bugs. There'll be other stuff too on my stream. I mean, come on. I do get bored with things every once in a while, and I do have other projects that I want to work on. But right now, I just kind of want to work on bugs. It's been a very long time since I've worked on bugs. Decades. And it's time. Dang it. It's time again. Alrighty. I said we were going to finish up the leather on the hat, and then we were going to maybe work on the coat or work on the other leather. And so let's do that. Let's mix up our white and our black and brown. But yeah, so today, this week, other than the game day and my inevitable descent into madness when I get my 40K box, it's all about finishing the book. It's all about finishing West of the Moon. Because I want to have it sit, and then I want to do a reread, an edit, just a loose, not a huge edit like this one has been, but a tuning edit on it before I send it to the editor, my first editor, on Monday. I think it's Monday. I'm pretty sure that my deadline are July 3rd. Yeah. So if I finish it this weekend, I can let it sit till like the 28th. Get my Patreon stuff done completely on the first part of next week. And then have like 4 days to do my read-through edit. And then there will be more edits after that, obviously. If you know me, you know that. I tune a lot because I want my book to be really good and I care about it. And so it's like never, like some people, they finish their book, they do a quick, they send it to a proofreader, they do a quick read through and they're done. I'm not that writer. I'm not. I cannot be that writer. I don't want to be that writer. It means that it's a little slower of a process for me. Oh, boy. Allergies. Take your pill, Quindy. Drink, everybody. Whenever the world attacks Anne, it's time to drink. Because I do it almost every stream these days. So pardon me while I deal with that briefly. Deal with the outsides. The outsides attacking the insides. Yeah, this is probably where we want to talk about kind of, it's interesting, but I have no matter what you're doing, whether it's painting or writing or knitting or doing, if you're doing a creative thing, what you'll probably find is that the basic nature of your ideal process is the same between those things. So what do I do, in mini painting? I tend to not do the whole model. I tend to work in sections. I do a rough finish and then I do a tune. And I spend a lot of time correcting or tuning and making sure that every part is good, right? So what do I do with my book? I work in sections. And, and I do a rough and then I do tuning and all that. So it's funny, but yeah, my creative process is the same no matter what creative thing I'm working on. It's the same. So Turchin, I love that you love my book. I love that you do. I hope you love the second one too. I'm in the midst of the great finale right now. I've got a lot of it written in. I need to flesh out parts of it. When it's such a huge scene, like set of scenes with so many moving parts, it's like you've painted like this giant model and you need to like tack all the parts back on and make sure that they fit really nicely, and then do touch-ups. It's totally like that. You guys are gonna get so sick of me comparing painting and writing, but they're the same dang thing. Creative process is creative process. But it is like that. It's when you're wrestling a book, it's like the final scenes are just like, okay, I can't forget this character. I can't forget this character. What happens to this? What happens to that? Set up the next book because, it is a series, even though this concludes this story. So anybody who's just reading these 2 books will be hopefully happy with the ending. But if they are interested in the future for these characters, then yes, there are more books. After this, we go all Redwall on stuff, which I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to writing self-contained books. And I'm going to just let myself write them no matter how long they are. Because technically this is teen epic fantasy. And epic fantasy is allowed to be long. Hey, Kodiak. Yeah, I can't do that with knitting, you're right. But knitting is a little bit different. Like, the knitting part where it would count, Pendrake, is... And actually knitting it would... If you're doing a sweater, then you are like, putting everything together and trying to make it look good, right? Where the creative process comes up with knitting, though, is planning your pattern. Like planning your pattern, planning how you're going to execute, planning, what yarn am I going to use? Am I going to use multiple yarns? When am I going to shift? Right? It's pattern creation. It's not planning your color scheme or plotting your novel, but it's creating your pattern. And then the execution, which is, very worksman-like on all of those levels. You're really just pounding out words. Sometimes you're inspired, sometimes you're not, but you're just getting the words out. You're getting them down on the page. You're putting paint on the model. You're getting your base coat on. You're getting your base highlights and shadows blocked in. You're knitting. You're actually doing the work of the knitting. And then, then at the end, you have to, like, figure out how to put the sleeves on that dang sweater. No, Pendrake. No, that's what happened with this book. Originally, this was one book. And I'll tell you, Pendrake, it is not easy. It is not a good idea to switch, to chop it in 2. Like, people talk about that like it's super easy. Having done it, it is not, because what you end up getting is you get it to an editor and the editor goes, where's the ending? You can't just put out a book that doesn't have some sort of resolution or feel okay, like where the characters are at least going. You need to resolve some little things before you move on. And so you really need to write 2 books as if they are 2 books. You need to have that little, okay. The little, Ash is finally going to get out of the Undercaverns. You have to, like, give the reader that little bit of and the characters have to learn something, right? They have to have their change arc. And if you write a book and then you decide to just chop it in half, you have none of that at the midpoint. In fact, you might have very different things at the midpoint. So it's not easy, and it's not generally a good idea. Not unless you've written a book where your midpoint is a resolution point, but it's like a false victory point. I could see that. You could. I mean, so there are rare books where it would work, but I think those are very rare books. I had to do a substantial rewrite where I really had to pay attention to the cues I was giving to the reader when I split this in 2. Like, I had it, because that was my first, I went to a pro, Brian Pearsall, who's a teacher at ReaperCon, you guys might know, also was at Paint Club a lot. But his mother-in-law actually worked in the writing industry. She was a book buyer for one of the major chains. And she was gracious enough to read my book. She was actually the first industry professional who had eyes on my book. And that was what she said. She's like, it was good or I wouldn't have finished it, but you need to deal with the ending because it feels like it's one book that's been chopped in half. So, and readers can tell. Readers can absolutely tell. So, yeah. So, not so good. And, But yeah, I want to get this. I really want to get it done this weekend. I really, really do. Because that puts me on track. So let's do our little squiggles. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to make it really, really fine and more like cracked looking, more randomized. Here we can still see all the squiggles, so we need to blend them together more back here. Yeah, but you can't, and this is a thing, keep this in mind. You honestly can't look at classical literature on this anymore for a lot of this stuff. Classical literature people, like those writers, they got away with a lot of stuff that today would be considered poor writing. And even so, though, even with that, if you look at where Fellowship ends, sure, it doesn't have a huge resolution, but it does have, Boromir, not being able to resist the ring and dying. You have everybody's arc together ends at the end of Fellowship, and then you have the new arc starting in Two Towers, right? Yeah, technically. I mean, it's not that you can't write a series, Penrick. It's just that you just can't write one huge book and then just rip it apart and publish those individual books without doing some work. Otherwise, your reader satisfaction is going to be lousy. And nowadays, with what is said, and I kind of agree with this, we read a lot more nowadays than Tolkien's audience necessarily did. And today's reader is very sophisticated, relatively speaking. And they are definitely looking for emotional payoff. And so you gotta write to that reader. Like, I was talking about this with one of my dad's friends who wants to self-publish a book, and he wants to write like in the style of like James Joyce and like classic. And I'm like, well, and a lot of the choices those writers made, like I said, wouldn't really satisfy an audience today. Like he would attract fans of that style of writing, but fans of that style of writing are not very common these days. And it really would depend on how good of a storyteller he was. And I pretty much told him that. I'm like, every time you make a call, because when he was telling me about this, he kept saying, and I know that's not the style today, and I know that is what people are looking for today, and I know this is totally not the way people write today, and yada yada. And I'm like, well, whenever you make that decision, you risk alienating a potential part of your audience, right? You're going to alienate people who don't like X. You're going to alienate people who don't like Y. And he's like, so what you're telling me is I may end up just writing for myself. And I'm like, yeah, not necessarily, but your audience will be very small, right? And if you're happy with that, then write it. Right? Just write it, But he was not happy with that. So it's like, he's going back to the drawing board, I think. Yeah, there's a lot more people writing. If you don't like something about the book you're reading, you just stop it and pick up another one. Yeah. I mean, and especially all the platforms where you can like read for free or like have Kindle Unlimited or, that kind of thing. Yeah. 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 I had forgotten that, Turgeon. Hey, that's my Lord of the Rings nerd. That's my super fan you're talking about. Nobody disses Turgid in this chat. Oh, Gibson, nice. Oh, nice, Erwis. Yay! We were talking about writing and we were talking about how hard it is to split a book into two books, because that's what I had to do for mine. And kind of drawing comparisons and stuff. I was drawing a lot of comparisons between writing and painting. Creative process is creative process. No matter what I'm doing, I seem to be doing the same sort of iteration. I'm going to put another glaze on this now. Remember, that's how we built up this part, is we kept putting glazes down. And I also want the blue liner. Remember, I put some blue liner over this to darken it and make it more toward black. So I'm going to get that. Oh, cute. So I gotta ask if Henry is dating a nerd or if he's gone the way of all, like, top Hollywood people and just dated somebody, like, super cool and actressy. Because he should totally, whoever he's dating, he should drag that woman into gaming. Or I'll lose all respect for him. Well, not all respect, but I'll lose a lot of respect for him. Number one mistake geeks make is marrying non-geeks. But that's a cute name for a Frenchie. Baggins is perfect. Oh yeah, for sure, Valandar. Yeah, it's huge now. But it's hard to, I mean, okay, so it's like every other industry, every other creative industry, where it is a winner takes most market. People say winner take all, but that's not particularly correct. Winner takes most is more accurate. I think, actually, the Alliance of Independent Authors dropped their big data dump, their big survey, the results of it, over the last weekend. And it was the top 1% of writers, I think, take 32% of the profits. And I think it's around the top 3% taking about 70%. That's the typical curve is like the top 3% taking like 70-75% of the potential profits. And that's just because and this is what people don't realize, but in a market which is a creative free market, which is indie publishing right now, readers vote with their dollars and their eyeballs, right? But there will be curation. Like, curation naturally happens because humans cannot look at every one of a billion books and make a choice. So they will ask everybody else they know what books are good, which is why getting your book not only out there but also read is such a challenge and so integral. A French Bulldog, Pendrake. Oh, cool. Oh, awesome. If she likes Slaanesh, she's my kind of girl. Fantastic. Fantastic. Good. They'll be good together. Okay, cool. Well, at least she's if she's an exec, she's got a good brain, so I respect him. Yes. Oh, is she also producing the 40K thing with him? Yeah. Good. Yeah, Gibson, every Tolkien person I've ever met is just like that. Is like, loves to debate stuff. Loves it. Loves it. I'm not there. I just enjoyed the books. The Hobbit is my favorite. I read it 18 times before I hit 6th grade. And I kid you not. Like, this is the great irony, is that in 6th grade, one of our books that we read and were tested on was The Hobbit. I looked at my teacher and I was like, I have read this 16 times or 18 times already. And they're like, well, then you should ace every test. And I did. I even got the extra credit. Oh yeah, I watched the replay of that, Chibi. Oh my god, Valadar. Okay, that's excessive. Yeah, that's good, Turgeon. Ah, my silly little water bottle is having its moments. It definitely has moments these days. Water bottle, I cannot have you pull in this. I'm going to have to dig out a new nipple for you. Luckily, I have an extra water bottle. That's funny, Vonder. New Encode, thank you for the resub. 43 months. We're being horribly pedantic today, but it's okay. It's Friday. We can do whatever we want. And I'm just glazing leather on a mouse. So, all right. Let's get this real thin. Real thin. Especially because with black and brown, it wants to cover. It's a high coverage color. So, if you want it thin, you got to make it thin. Got to push it. I have a couple. I keep water and I keep flow improver Pendrake because I want to keep track of how much water I'm adding. I'm used to doing ratios. I don't consider ratios a crutch. I consider them good scents. Yeah, but now you've summoned him. You've summoned Luca. He should come and hang out Fridays. Yeah, Henry Cavill sounds like my kind of guy just because he's like I'm never going to grow up and I am so excited about this. Like that's me. So I'm like, yes, we get along. He's not ashamed to be excited about the things he loves, even if like real adults would look down on them. Like that's the kind of attitude you got to have. Okay, got that nice, and we're getting there. So now we're going to throw a blue glaze on it. Then we're going to do some more squigglies. Oh, Luca is still streaming. If Henry was streaming, we'd all have to run over and watch. Especially if it was Warhammer. So I'm going to kind of bring this out and down. More of a targeted glaze on this. Also a little stronger. There. Now we'll bring it back up. Hey, I wouldn't blame you abandoning me for Henry. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can't help growing older, but I'm definitely like exercising more and trying to stay at the point where even as I get older, I still feel good. That's the most important thing for me now is like having a quality of life to feel good as I age so that I can keep doing all the stuff that I want to do, even if I have to do some of it a little slower. That's my thing. Yes, because he needs to have his geek dose, Turgeon. He needs to have his dose of geekdom. Especially because a lot of the people he hangs out with probably aren't geeky. He wants to talk to the real Warhammer nerds. Yes, it's not a person calling you, it's a bot, Pendrake. That's why I don't like accept any of those calls and just let them go to voicemail, and if they don't leave a message, I ignore them. More squiggles. More squiggles. More squiggles. We're almost there. That's pretty good. I just always leave my phone on mute, and then I check for messages. But then I don't even have to be interrupted by the stupid bots. I don't really care. I have foiled them. The nice thing is I haven't played 40k in so long that once I get the new rulebook, I'll be able to like read it and just like internalize the changes. I won't even realize they're changes because I haven't played in so long. I'll just it'll just like remind me. But next I need to like paint a couple units of bugs so that I can find somebody to play with. You like to pretend it isn't, that he's lurking. There's always a chance. I'm continually surprised at people who know who I am. Just random folks. My mother runs into them. Like when she just, is talking to somebody she's just met, and they're like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, yeah, I have a daughter and a son, blah, blah, blah. What does your daughter do? Oh, she's blah, 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 blah. And they're like, you know Ann Forster? She's your daughter? And his mom's like, whoa. But it happens. It happens every once in a while. I think she's kind of tickled by it. No, most people don't use their real name once they get to famous level. Actually, I ran into Reddit. There's a writer who writes books for authors who's really, really well known, arguably one of the more famous ones, Chris Fox. And somebody asked on Reddit, on my self-published Get It, if Chris Fox's books were still relevant. And he pops in and goes, well, speaking it from the perspective of the author, he doesn't use his real name on there, but he's like, blah, 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 and this is the way I think of all my books, and da-da-da, and you could probably skip this one, and da-da-da, these are always evergreen, and it was really funny. Like, the guy did not respond, and I'm kind of like, I wonder if the original poster was looking to diss him and just was like, ooh, wait, he's on here. It was funny. Oh, lovely. It was well done, though. It was really well done by Chris. I read his books, so I'm like, it's good to know he has a sense of humor. And also that he kind of, keeps an eye out. It was really good, though. You never know. Like, you never know who you're going to run into on social media. So you are right, Quindy. Just assume it's Henry, just in case. Because, you just never know. It's like running into Mercedes Lackey on Quora, right? You just never know. Or C.S. Friedman, too, and you might think these people don't make time for this sort of stuff, but it could just be their, like, secret kind of thing they love to do, and there's no way of knowing. So always be on your best behavior. I gotta slurp off some of the excess here. Yeah. Still a little bit too much white showing through here, so I'm going to do another. I'm going to bring it up. Actually, where I did here is I brought it up a little bit in specific places and left the center, and I'm going to do that here too. I'm going to bring it up a little bit more on the sides. Keep the center in shadow. Well, some 40K people don't really follow the painting scene, right? Some of them are purely the gaming scene, but I don't know. I don't know if Henry follows the painting scene. You gotta essentially. He said his favorite was his favorite army Necrons. I don't remember on that interview what his favorite army was. But if you start painting really good models from that army for Instagram, maybe you'll attract his attention. Chibi. Oh, he does Custodes. Oh, they're such a pain. Such a pain. Such a pain to paint. At least he's not. That's right. It was the other guy who was Necrons. But Custodes, I mean, there are some cool models, but man, all that metal. The Adeptus Mechanicus stuff. Well, there you go, Quindy. Well, both of you, Quindy and Chibi. If you want to attract the attention of Henry, then start painting really good Custodes stuff. I'm just going to bring that up a little bit more. Yeah, all NMM, no thank you. Yeah, you shouldn't yuck someone else's yum. Yeah, you should never do that. But I don't like them either, but I don't like Imperium. Like, Space Wolves are the closest I get, and most Dark Angels would consider them heretics, and I'm okay with that because the Emo Marines can go shove it. But yeah, I'm definitely not an Imperium kind of girl. I've speed painted too many Space Marines. They're not girly. They're not girly. And it's great fun when playing Tyranids to treat them like filled candies that you're happily munching into. Ooh, is this lemon? Ooh, this one's raspberry. All right. Little bit of raise there. Yeah, he does paint his own models, yes. You know, you can quickie NMM. I mean, it's doable. It won't look near as good, but on some models you could get away with it. I don't think Space Marines are one of those models, though. Too many rounded surfaces. I mean, maybe with an airbrush you could do it. With a really fine airbrush. But it still would take longer. It would take longer than metallics for sure, but it wouldn't necessarily take forever. Keekster, what you doing back there? She wandered past to go to... She was sad this morning because David had an 8 o'clock meeting, so he actually got up and worked from home just for that meeting. But she thought he was going to stay home all day, and she loves her daddy, so Kiki was so sad when he left after all. She just loves David so much because she only gets to see him, you know. I'm chopped liver. She sees me all day, every day. Quindy. Yeah, super fine airbrushes that are good cost quite a bit, yeah. I'm just gonna, if I see the Witcher in the back of my classroom, I'm just gonna tell him, you make sure to behave, no matter what monsters we paint in this class. There we go. That's good. That's balanced, like balanced across. Alrighty. Hat more or less accomplished. I could do a little more on the top here. But we don't want to spend forever on this model. Forever. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I mean, fast NMM is just like, you're just abbreviating it, right? You're just doing it super fast. And it's totally doable. It's just... Yeah, you're not gonna be... You're gonna go stylistic with it rather than realistic with it. You're just gonna not have... I'm just gonna do one more layer up here. You're not gonna be able to really break it down and show that you're doing it the way it really would go, it's just gonna be NMM. Not gonna be crazy, cool, realistic NMM. He's not special, I'll fuss at him. That would be one of Quindy's fondest memories, the day she gets to fuss at Henry Cavill. Oh, I shouldn't have started. I'm not really geeking out over actors. I mean, if he didn't look so good as The Witcher, I would still not know who he is. Because I wasn't a Superman fan. Because usually I don't know actors at all. I know writers. Like, writers are my geek out. You are so funny. Remember, famous people are just people. They're cool people. Hopefully they're cool people. Henry is definitely a cool person. But they're just people. Just like anybody else. Put some blue in here. Google thinks you need to know about him, huh? That's funny. There we go. There's our hat. I like that color. That's good. It's not too brown. I was able to damp it down for a bit. Still need to take these little bits and do a little bit here on the edges. Nice. I may get into biking someday. I just like walking. Like, I really, really like walking. I just need to walk a little faster or walk and jog as far as my fitness level goes to get a little, keep my fitness level up there. For a while there, I was just getting steps and lazy walking, which is fine for like losing weight, but not so good for cardiovascular fitness and muscle fitness. So gotta pump it up a notch. Kiki might be happy. I might have to walk her a little faster. Ah, good. Hey, Julie. There we go. That's funny. When you accidentally get in somebody else's video just because you happened to be there. All right, there we go. So I gotta get a couple more glazes over here to take the texture down. Yeah, you gotta train them, butts, to go the speed that works for you. Yeah, I'm still working with Kiki. What helps is if you slowly increase your pace. Like, if I were to just break out into a jog, Kiki would break into a run. But if I walk really fast and then I go into a real slow jog and then I slowly increase, she does a little bit better. I still need to work with her. Ugh, my allergies are just killing me today. Ugh. Nasty, nasty allergies. Bad. No attacking. Thank you. I need all the blessings I can get. Yeah, it's that season. And it's been really windy here for the last couple days, and that just throws all the dust and crap into the air. Alrighty, so blue glaze over that side to like kind of take that down. And as it dries, you'll see the texture come back. Oh, constant need to stop. Oh, they've got that. See, Kiki is well, she's a girl dog too, so she likes to sniff her spots, but she isn't like totally crazy about it. If she gets to like jog, if she gets to like speed up, she likes to do that. Yeah, to be tricky. Yep, I could believe that. Oh, all right. So yeah, so you see a little bit of the texture come out. That's good. We're good there. Yeah, I think the hat's done. Okay, sweet. Now we're on to the belt. And the belt is going to do much the same thing, but without wigglies. Belts tend to crack vertically across their surface because they're wrapping around the body. So that gives you a really simple way to suggest texture on them. Hi, Kiki. Do you want to finally say hi to everybody? Did you hear me talking about you? Did you hear me talking about you? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where's my dog? You over here sniffing at my paint? Are you sniffing at my paint? Yeah? Why is your head on the wrong side? I can't scruffle it over there. Where are you? Kicker, back up, hey. You're such a dork. You don't want to come up and say hi to people? Do you not want to come up and say hi to people? No? Your head is on the wrong side. Your head is on the wrong side. It is. She's like, I just want to be a stealthy Kiki today. I just want to be here. Yeah? Yeah? Papa. You want to come say hi to people? Yay! We have Kiki. We have a Kiki sighting. There we go. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. Oh, it's my brush. Yeah, you cannot eat that. You cannot eat that, okay? Okay? Yeah, I know you're sad because Dad left. He'll be back, though. He will. He'll play with you, I promise. Oh, I promise. Mwah. Thank you. Good girl. Good girl, Keekers. Good girl. Yes, cute to cute. Oh, no, you didn't miss her. She didn't get up this morning. She was like, she's been having a wonky morning. Oh no, the lickens. Attack. Yeah, good girl. Yeah, good girl. Oh, Kiki, don't be a brush slicker. She's my monster. She's my monster. Good girl. Good girl, monster dog. Good girl. Okay, we can get down. Good girl. Good girl, Bubba. She's a good girl. You're a good girl, Keeks. You're a good girl. Yeah, I don't know why you like to stand right here. But we got to finish this Mousling dough. Got to work on the Mousling. Yep, Mousling time. Yeah, she had the face. She does have a pretty face. She's like, I'm bored. Would you please be done with this stream so that we can go for our walk? You've got quite a bit of time left, though, Keeks. So I'm going to do just some real thin stripes. And you don't need to make them regular. And in fact, they shouldn't be too regular. It's okay if they catch a little bit on the top there. You can see how a couple of them caught and went a little wide on the top edge of the belt. That's actually good because the outer edges are where the biggest cracks will be. I just did this on my Patreon. We were working on our Mixing Everything project. So I was showing how to mix leather colors, but I also did a bit of texture on a belt. We'll get closer. I went a little bit. So you can see how I'm doing the back there, and I've got less big cracks because this belt has an edge on it, which would prevent some of that. But there's still some strain around the parts that are bulging and some cracking on the outer edge. So that kind of thing. So yes, that's my Patreon. At the $10 level, we've been doing the mixing everything thing. So I talked about mixing all of those different leather colors and what to use, and then did a little bit of leather texture. Because why not? But on really small models, you're a lot more limited as to what you can do. So just a little bit. The one thing is that for this sort of thing, we want to probably go with a different color once we put our glaze over the top, because when dark brown leather cracks, it usually shows a beige or yellowish beige underneath it, like a tan, golden tan, because that's the color, the actual color of the leather. So I'll set up my texture so I can still see it a bit. And then go. Oh yeah, I know, allergy meds. Yes, I'll see you later, Chibi. Tell your hubby sorry. I'm there, I feel it. Alright, so I'm going to get some more of a tan color. Leather brown is good for this. Tanned leather. Tanned leather is probably the best color. But you can also just grab any old tan and work with it. I think I'll grab... Technically, I could also use rich leather with a bit of white in it. So I'll do that. Hi, Bubba. You can settle down, okay? Yeah, you can go settle down, little dog. Yeah, it's not time yet. It's not time yet, Bubba. You're so silly. What a needy puppy. What a needy puppy. So needy. So puppy. So, yeah. Rich leather is great for a lot of different things, and one of the things you can do with it is to take a couple drops, drop some pure white in it, and make a color that is a light yellowish tan out of it. There we go. We've got a plopped dog out in the hallway. She is resigned to waiting until I am done. I think. Ah! So we get that. Put some water in there. Don't need a lot of water this time, just enough to make sure that we can paint this over the top of the other. It's not a bad color for leather. It looks a lot like leather brown. We pop it back out. All right, so I want to kind of go over the areas that I first detailed it out, this color. So kind of underpainting, because also having these lighter lines already in place means that the paint I put over the top doesn't need to cover that great. So we've got a little bit of that tan color coming in there. Could also have glazed with the rich leather. Actually, I'm going to add just a little bit more rich leather. More intense color is going to show up better, but I also need it to be lighter, so I'll pop just a little bit more rich leather in there. It is hard to get color to show through when you're doing tiny details like this. Sometimes you got to get close. Yeah, it's close to tanned leather. Tanned leather, leather brown. You could just use those. I don't have tanned leather actually in my thing because it is so easy to mix. I do have leather brown, but I decided I wanted to go a little more yellow, a little more rich. Leather brown is a little bit washed out, and I wanted to not go quite that. I wanted to go a little more yellow than that. So now you can see the yellow in there. And that's what I want. Geekster, why are you being a jerk? You are just not settling. Do I have to exile you? I had to exile her last night from the hobby room because she just wanted to keep mucking around with stuff. Ah, she heard me say the E word. I think she's just bored. A little bit more yellow-ish I want over that middle of that. So I'm going to use straight up rich leather and drop some, make a glaze out of it and see if that works a little bit better. There we go. With rich leather, a glaze is kind of 1-to-1, depending on how strong you want the color. So I'm going to grab that glaze and I'm going to put it over the top here. That definitely colored it a bit. You can see that golden color coming through. Well, there's nothing to fix. It's just that I wanted it to be more yellow than leather brown. And so I went for the other thing. Leather brown is just a little bit washed out, but it's that way because it's great as a foundation for blonde hair or lions or leopards or anything more organic golden tan. Like it is the perfect color for those things. There is no fixing it. It's fine. It's just fine for certain purposes. And for this, I wanted more yellow. I am not excited. I need to figure out if I'm painting something. But yeah, there we go. So a couple glazes. We've got it there. I mean, if you want it more intense, just add a yellow oxide or add a little bit of rich leather and you'll be fine with leather brown if you want it more intense. But it is the color I intended it to be, and it is perfect for lions and creatures like that. Lions, golden retrievers. Yes, and a good base for raw, undyed tanned leather. Kiki, I'm exiling you. Done. 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 You're done. Hey. Oh, okay, never mind. Stay. She's like, I just pawed at the tile just so I could lie down on it, Mama. No, you should have stayed. It was my mistake. I heard you claw and paw at something, and I didn't realize that you were just trying to make the tile more comfortable. Yes, I didn't realize that. Now I have a giant dog head in my lap. How am I supposed to paint with a giant dog head? How am I supposed to paint with this giant dog head in my lap, huh? Yeah, because there's scruffles that need to happen here. Hi there, Specklehead. You've got little speckles. You do. Yeah, little Specklehead. Hi. Yeah. What a good girl. Okay, little ears. I still am working. I'm still working. You got 15, 20 more minutes to settle. Yep, 15, 20. Go settle down. All right, so we've got that belt. We've got the hat. Now we need the boots. Yeah, you could totally use leather brown for a golden furred mouse. I just wanted to make him a little darker than that. Dark gray. Yeah, I mean, there's always, every year, some people don't, no ma'am. Keep it up and you're exiled. No clawing at the floor. Settle down. Alrighty, on the boots, do I want to go with the brown? I guess it makes sense. The brown is dark enough, and it's different from the fur, or I could go just black. Do you guys want me to do black leather on the boots, or go with the brown again? What do you want? Tell me. I'm open. If you have an opinion, speak or hold your pieces. Black. Okay. Black it is. Then I will use a bluish gray to differentiate it. Let's see here. We were using, like, were we using Hobgoblin for that coat? Feels kind of like it. I need black. Maybe I'll just use my blue-brown liner mix and highlight it. Let's do that. So black and brown liner and blue liner, but we're going to go heavier on the blue, which is going to gray it out, and we're going to add white. So blue and brown. And I'm going to go probably 3-to-1. See how that goes. There's all sorts of new features in Photoshop. I haven't used it for so many years. I have a different art program that I really like for my Mac. All right, pop some water in there. Oh man, speaking of breaking in, my new trail running shoes are some of the comfiest shoes I've ever owned. And I've been breaking them in, but they really have been good on my feet. I have no complaints. I wanted them for hiking instead of boots because it seems like whenever I go somewhere that we intend to hike, I never have room for hiking boots in my luggage. Drop a little white in there. So I got the trail runners instead as a compromise because I still wanted more traction than my running shoes. What's up, Bubba? Oh, hold on. We're making weird noises. Geez, Kiki, you're so high maintenance today. So we're mixing up this kind of blue-gray. Let me go and give her something. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. She may have just horfed a dust bunny. But, yeah, you? Are you not feeling great today? Hold on. Oh, you can touch the rest of your food. Would you like a cheese treat? Let me get you a cheese treat, okay? Settle down. You're so high maintenance today, Keekster. You're so high maintenance today. Like, seriously, dog. Oh, it notices when you last saved and timeline and stuff like that. That's kind of cool. Oh no, Quindy. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be discombobulated, but Kiki is like challenging me today. I'm like, I'm so focused. I'm going to get tons of work done on my book. And then there's Kiki. And I'm like, you cannot disrupt my writing today, Keeks. You cannot. Mama has a very important book to finish. And I got 3 days to do it in. All right, so we're starting with this dark blue-gray, which is 3 drops of blue liner, 1 drop of brown liner, and about, I would say, half a drop of white. Luckily, I have days where I'm definitely combobulated. Days when I get good sleep, and I know what I'm working on, I have good focus. So we're just starting out with little bitty highlights. On boots like this, you really just want to hit the creases. And then when it comes to the tops, when I hit the top, the bottom, and usually there's some hollows and some folds. You want to hit the fold where it comes out, like there. Usually there's a fold toward the front because the leg is shaped that way. And this is very close to the black, and the reason we would do that is that it's easier to blend in. It's going to stand out quite a bit from black anyway. So anything you can do to make it easier to blend is a good idea. So going real close to black is one thing. And then as I blend it up, I can always glaze. And you want to leave most of your surface black. The boot back here is buried in the shadows, so I'm really just going to get the toe and the side here. Just a little bit. Because the inside is totally in shadow. Like you just wouldn't see anything beyond the heel here. Alrighty. So let's take a bit of that and add more white to it. I'll just grab it from my white over here. Doesn't take much because the liners are more, the white's higher diffusion. The liner black is not a high solids black. Good for your health. Hopefully I don't put people to sleep. I don't mind being chill. All right, I do need to add a little more water there. Adding white necessitates adding more water. For those who are video game enthusiasts, today is the second day of the Overwatch World Cup, and Team USA plays for the first time this afternoon. So we'll see how we are. We're not greatly optimistic this year. We won last time, but it's a very different team. And Korea is a juggernaut. Actually, a lot of the European teams are not looking like slackers either. This could be one of the most competitive World Cups ever. Little bits of just hitting some highlights. Yeah, there's other chill streamers, for sure. I just prefer to be a chill streamer. Mostly because if I'm chill and painting, I'm having fun. And I like to have fun when I stream. There's no reason that work should not be fun. Doing a little bit of blending, a little bit of widening out that highlight a bit, like that, fuzzing it in. Bringing that out. You want to remember when you're doing black, you've got to leave the majority of the surface black, or it will not look correct. So keep your highlights very localized and leave a lot of black. There we go. Little bits. Again, most of the shoe is going to stay black. Otherwise, you will lose the black appearance. The more I bring this up, the shinier the leather will be. Thinking about keeping it here though, because I might just bring some dirt in around his paws. Eventually, I want to put him on maybe a different base, so that he's kind of stepping up here. So if I make a different base, I need to keep that in mind. But I think I would like a different base with a tombstone on it, maybe. Make the undead hunting Mousling. We could do that with cork. Although I'm really tempted lately, I've been really tempted to try that clay that CNOT uses. Cos clay. I've been like looking at it and kind of researching it and stuff. There's some really cool tools in the toolbox with that stuff. And I'm thinking about starting to make bases in it, because it's got a lot of cool functionality, like really cool functionality. Like there's a slip you can do, and it's for making doll joints, but if you wanted to make a base that fit into a larger display base perfectly, you could do it with cosplay, because you would make the base and you would like, and you'd put that slip stuff in there, and then you'd make your base for your model and make sure that it fit perfectly, and you just bake it. And then it comes right out. Like the slip just makes the cosplay, the two pieces not bond to each other, but you get a perfect socket fit. Like so many interesting uses for models. Kiki is scrambling. Must have been scaring a mouse. I have to go sweep up seeds today so the mice stop coming around. But yeah, so the cosplay stuff seems like it's got some interesting tools for miniatures, especially for basing, display basing, and stuff like that. So seems like it could be cool, folks. Seems cool. All right, so let's what do we got? We are at 11. Oh no, Gibson. But yeah, so I'm like reading a lot about the cosplay stuff, and I have some of it in my cart. I'm just kind of like, I've already blown a lot of money for my birthday this month, so I may have to wait till next month when I give myself some fun money, and I might have to get some cosplay and work on basing stuff with it, because German Euro techno metal. I mean, it depends on when I'm painting. I don't know. It depends. My mood is different. I have different playlists for different moods. It's not so much what I work on ever. It's just what am I in the mood for. I do not like techno metal, but I do like house. I like Crystal Method. and other bands like that. So, meeting time. Yep, yeah, well, it's almost time. Crowley. You're just gonna keep saying hi, Henry Cavill. I was kind of going back and forth. I have a couple. There are several like inspirational mixes that I made when I was starting the Patreon and when I was, planning to move out here. Kind of, butt kicking, like kind of, upbeat playlists. But I don't know. Lately, I've been going back to my like kind of dreamy, fun, like lightweight. Like I like Oh Wonder. They're one of my favorite bands, and I have a huge playlist of their stuff. And so I've been doing a lot of that. Surf guitar instrumentals. That's cool. Like we wouldn't be friendly. We're friendly to everybody. Henry Cavill or not. We do reserve the right to like tease him about his Custodes like favoritism, however. So many other cool armies out there, Henry. Come on. Go Xenos. You know you want to. We're mostly nice to Luca. Mostly. Luca has earned his attitude, though. Both his attitude and our attitudes. Yeah, I know. I'm not looking... I don't really want metal miniatures either. Yeah, isn't it funny, Valandar? Because the minute you can get an as good of a cast, right, with less pain of the cleanup, then metal becomes, like, less desirable. Because with any plastic, you have more, conversion possibility. Some of them, like the original Bones, PVC is a pain to clean up. Like, I still think metal's easier to clean up than that. But, Quindy, are you going to become one of those high-maintenance women friends of mine where I have to have, like, a special t-shirt that says, like, Jennifer Haley does not actually dislike me? Like, because that's a thing. Hey there, Keeks. Hey there, Keeks. Hi. Quindy does not actually dislike me. Yeah. Kiki, what are you doing? What are you trying to get? You're trying to get stuff that's down here. No. That is not edible. Oh, the dog. She's so disruptive today. She better let me write later, or so help me God I'm putting her in her crate. Boop, 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 boop. Kiki, quit eating things that you oughtn't. Please. This is why you sit there and hork and make weird noises in the hall, and I have to give you a gas pill just in case. Stop it. Go away. Here. There. I'm shutting you off. Yep. Try this fine souffle, roasted with love and the tears of Quindy's frenemies. That's funny. But wait, wouldn't that make the souffle drop? All right, Kiki. You have been so disruptive this stream. You have been so disruptive. So disruptive. So disruptive. Why are you so disruptive? You become one of Quindy's frenemies. Look out, Kiki. Look out. You're going to become a frenemy. You're going to become a frenemy? Yeah, she says. I'll become a frenemy. Yeah, hi. Yeah, hi. Yeah. What are you eating? Dust bunny. Probably a dust bunny. Maybe paint. Would you quiet? You are such a dork. You're such a dork. This dog. All right, eviction. Eviction, you're done. Quit eating my dust bunnies. Such a dork. This dog. I'm going to strangle her today. I swear to God, you have to let me finish this chapter, Kiki. You must let me finish chapter 37. For the love of God. She is such a weirdo today. Oh my God, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it, guys. I just am. We're the love of God. And Kiki's. I have a Kiki right here. Such a silly girl. All right, folks. Well, on that note, we do have the boots mostly pretty much set up, unless I want to do... I'll actually wait to do the dirt on them, because I want to do some dirt around the edge of the coat, too. So we'll want to paint the coat first and then do the dirt. So we'll do that. So next time, we do cloth on him, and Anne has to think about basing. No, we went to a no-letter, mixture a while ago. Yeah, my cats liked to eat, like, there was one of my old cats loved to eat Bretonians. Like, she loved the lances. She would chew all the lance tips off. Yeah, nom nom, right, Kiki? She's like, hey, is it time yet? Is it time yet? Is it time for our walk yet? Is it, mama? Is it? Such a dork. Such a dork. All right, so on Monday, we are back to Jolie. Jolie. She's looking nice. Like the white's coming around nicely. The book color's coming around nicely. Like I'm pretty happy overall. So now we can actually, let's work on, I think I'm going to want to work on her skin tone and hair. I think I want to go there. Yep. And with my 40K box and finishing the book. Doing my best, Turgeon. Doing my best. Must finish. Aside from this little dweeb-like dog interfering and totally distracting me all the time. Like, Reaperland is a cipher, huh? Like, I gotta finish the books this weekend. For my own sanity, Kiki, I gotta. Yes, okay? Yes, let's commit. Fist bump. Oh, nose bump. All right, it'll work. I have to take this silly dweeby puppy for a walk now, everybody. Yes, the monster is totally not going to let me write today. I can just sense it. It's here. This monster. I'm noogieing her right now. Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. Me and my dingo, we're going to go for a walk. Y'all have a great weekend. And again, I will not be streaming Saturday. I will have a game day instead with friends. And so, yeah. I might jog, Pendrake. I don't know. She is, like, lately, she's just, like, bored teenager. She's like, hey. Look at her. She got her paw on me. She's sitting up on her hind legs. She's got her paws on my knee right now. And her little head in the camera. Like, she's like, come on. Like, so funny. All right, you little dingo. All right, I'll see you guys on Monday. Have fun. Wish me luck.